Beth from Sky.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Donald Trump said his tariff announcement will go down as one of the most important days in American history as he unleashed the biggest change in global trade in a century. You know that this is a massive and profound moment. You've also said that there will be an economic impact, but you know how big this is. So can you please explain in concrete terms for working people looking at all of this overnight, what does it mean for them? What does it mean in terms of jobs? What does it mean in terms of their bills at the supermarket, in terms of public services, in terms of taxes? And just quickly, you keep saying all options are on the table. Back in the House of Commons, your business secretary has just announced a formal consultation with business on retaliatory tariffs. How long are you going to give it until you actually do retaliate? Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. There's a lot bound up in that question, but it's a big discussion and it's a big set of issues, so I accept that. Look, in relation to what I say to working people and to businesses, I say we are acting in your absolute best interest, and that's what I mean by the national interest. A trade war is bad for working people and bad for our businesses, and I don't think we should jump straight into a trade war. I think it is better if we're able to negotiate a better outcome, and that's what we are attempting to do. I do think, just to go back to the beginning of your question, there's a really important moment here that we need to understand. Because over the last few months, we've been talking about a new era when it comes to defence and security, particularly collective defence and security, and recognising that we are in a changing world, going into a new era, and therefore we have to act and lead differently. We're at a similar point for trade and the economy. This is not just a short-term tactical exercise. It is the beginning of a new era. And we need to understand that, just as we've understood it for defence and security. We have to understand the changing world when it comes to trade and the economy. And I'm very concerned that we get this argument out there, because it means that we have to adapt in ways which go beyond the mere question of tariffs. And that's why I've instructed my team to go further and faster on what we need to do to put more resilience and more strength into our economy. And again, I say that to working people and businesses. In addition to what we're doing on the tariffs, we are now turbocharging the changes that we need to make sure our economy is stronger, is in thriving and supporting the way it needs to be as we go into a new era, which we are undoubtedly doing. So in one sense, we've got defence and security, a recognition that we're going into a new era. We need the same recognition, in my view, that we're going to a new era for trade and the economy, and that we will lead from the front, as we have been attempting to do with the security and defence. Thank you very much. Sorry, on the third part of your question, if we're keeping all options on the table, there are various steps that we need to take in order to keep all options on the table, and that's why we are sensibly doing what is necessary. This is driven, as most things are driven by me, in a calm, collected way with a cool head. This is, the sort of pragmatism that we're very good at in Britain, in my view, which is keeping a level head and coolly, calmly taking the right steps for our country.